Hey guys, Luke here. Today I'm going to show you how to apply at Bank of America for their 0% business credit. Now, I have personally seen approvals upwards of $53,000 from Bank of America. So if you haven't considered Bank of America, I highly recommend you give them a check out, and I hope this video provides you with some value and helping you on your funding journey. Now, if you're wondering who I am and why I have any authority to talk on the subject, our company, FunWithCredit.com, has secured over $20 million in 0% business credit for our clients. And I am just sharing this information with you to give you all value and to help you on your funding journey. So there's a few ways that we can go about applying for business funding at Bank of America. The recommended way that I would give you is have a credit card or some type of financial product with Bank of America for at least 90 days. So I would say maybe get a credit card through them, build a relationship for about 90 days, spend on this card and pay it down multiple times per month. And that would be a great way to build a relationship before you move on to business funding. Now, you don't have to do it this way. This just helps open the door for your relationship with Bank of America, as they're a little bit of a stickler when it comes to business credit, and they're a little bit more demanding when it comes to a personal relationship with them. So this is just a great way just to open that door and to get cozy with them, let them figure out who you are and whatnot. So that's a great way to get started with Bank of America, and so that is a good way that I would recommend to start your relationship with them. Now, however, you don't have to do that. Another way to do it would be to open up a business checking account, and this is one of three ways. Would be open up a business checking account, drop like $30,000 into that business account and let it season for a week. That is going to be a heavy hitter with Bank of America, because if you're coming in with like $30,000 in the checking account immediately after opening, it's a big power play, and it shows that you have money, and that if they give you high limits, they're going to probably get their money back, because if you just dropped in $30,000 at the opening of a checking account, it just shows you got a lot of cash, and it goes a long way with places like Bank of America. Option number two would be do consistent deposits into a business checking account of like 5 to 10K upwards of 90 days, or at least for 90 days. So I would keep a minimum of 5K into the account, and just a couple times per month or whatever, just put big deposits in like 5 to 10K, and just move money, give the account activity, show that there's money funneling into the account. So upwards of 5 to 10K, keep a minimum of 5K in the account, like on a daily basis. That's just what we have seen work best. And just do that for like 90 days. Now, of course, the higher the deposits, the better. If you can do more, I would highly recommend you do that. But at least do 5 to 10K deposits for, just keep money moving in and out of the account for upwards of 90 days, or for at least 90 days. Now, option number three, which this one, it's not the most ideal, but if you do need cash immediately, or if maybe you're at a funding round and you're just trying to, sweeten, just get a little bit more funding, you can just immediately start applying for business credit. Like I said, it's not going to be as much money as the other two, but if you are in need of money kind of quick, or if maybe you're at the end of a funding round and you're just trying to get a little bit more, this would be a great option for you to do. Now, like I said, those are the three ways that you can do it. You don't have to do it with the credit card or another, financial product for 90 days. I would recommend, but it is recommended that if you do have like a credit card, a loan, a mortgage or something for like 90 days, it can just help sweeten the pot a little bit more, but it is not absolutely necessary. You can still do it with those three other options I told you, but if you just want to sweeten the deal a little bit more, get a financial product like a personal credit card, a loan or something like that, and have it for like 90 days. So those are the three ways that you can build the relationship and get started. Now, we're going to be focusing on 5 cards at Bank of America. Now, at Bank of America, they have this really cool thing that you can do when you're applying. So, if you apply for 5 cards in the same day, so the cards are the customized cash rewards, the unlimited cash rewards, the Travel Rewards, the Platinum Plus, and the Atmos card. The first four cards, those are all 0% for 7 months. The Atmos card is a non-0% business card, but the cool thing with Bank of America is that you can transfer the limits from all those cards onto one singular card. So if you have a card that's not a 0% card, with like most banks and stuff, you can transfer those on to the 0% cards and it will be 0%. Now, the reason why we're focusing on 5 cards though is because Bank of America, if you apply for multiple cards in the same day, you can get all of those cards for one inquiry, which is incredible. You know, you have 5 cards that you can apply for one inquiry. Now, when we are applying, like I said, to get all those in one inquiry, we do need to make sure it's in the same day. But when we are applying with these cards, so if you have a bank account, so this is if you have a bank account or a relationship with them. On each application that you do want to sign in through the application to your account that you have with them. So like into your business checking account. This will pre-verify you on your application, which is going to help you as you're applying because you're already pre-verified and it's already going to put a good bit of your information like on the application. But it's a great way to get pre-verified on the application to help you get approved better. Now, of course, if you don't have the bank account or anything, you wouldn't log in, because you don't have the bank account or anything like that. But you want to make sure on each application, if you did go the bank account route, to sign in on each application. You want to sign in to your account so you can get pre-verified with your information. Now, whenever you go through the application, our goal is, you want to get automatically approved. If you don't, and your card if it goes into pending, which means a manual review, you can either call in to call their phone number and get with a rep and try to get the approval pushed through, or you can just automatically go on to the next application. I personally like to know that I was approved for a credit card before moving on to the next application, but you can with Bank of America, if it is pending, you can keep going on to the next application and so forth, and then whenever they've done their manual review, they'll give it to you. However, if you are going through the application and you get instantly denied, do not proceed on with any more applications. If you get a denial, if it's on the second or fourth card, if you get hit with an instant denial, do not apply for any more. That's your cutoff. So if it goes into pending, you can either call get in touch with a rep and see if you can help get the application pushed through, or if you want to, you can just keep continuing on until either one, you get an instant denial, or hopefully we're trying to make sure we're getting automatic approvals. But that's just the way that you would go about applying for these cards. Now, when we're talking about data points, we have seen in terms for revenue 550 to 600. In that range, or in that general range and area, we have seen those numbers to work best. Now, for total household income, we have seen 275 to 325. We've seen in that range work really well. And this is total household income. Now, in terms of employees, we've seen about 4 to 7. And for employment or for occupation, or like how you get paid and stuff, you want to put employment, and for occupation, you want to say you're an executive. We've just seen those to work really well. But so, okay, just to kind of like a recap. 3 ways you can go for applying with them. The number 1, have a financial product with them and do a big deposit of $30,000, or just do the deposit of $30,000 and let it sit for 7 to 14 days. Option number 2 would be to keep $5K at minimum in the account, and for 90 days, transfer 5 to 10 or maybe more if you have it in and out of the account. Keep activity on the account for 90 days. Or option number 3, you just go straight into the applications and you don't even worry about having a relationship. But like I said before, just don't be surprised by doing that one, the third option, that you get very low approvals, because you're more than likely going to get very tiny approvals just because they don't know who you are. They're just looking at your business and your personal information. Just the added relationship, maybe having like a card, and of course seasoning a bank account, those of course will always be superior and they will help you get higher approvals. And then, like I said, you're going to go for the customized cash rewards, the unlimited cash rewards, the travel rewards, Platinum Plus, and the Atmos card. The Atmos card, like I said, is not 0%, but it is more money for you. So you can apply for it or you can't, or you don't have to, whatever you want to do. And then when you're in the application process, make sure if you have a relationship with them, like a bank account, like the business checking account, make sure to sign into that on each application, just so all your information comes pre-verified. The application sequence, either automatic approval or pending. If it goes into pending, you can call in, try to get the approval done, or you can just keep going on with the approvals. Like I said, I personally tend to lean more of I want to make sure I'm approved before moving on. But if you just want to keep going on with the applications, even if it's in pending, you can do that. If you get hit with a denial, an instant denial, do not continue applying for any more cards. That's your cutoff. And like I said, if you do all this in one day, it will result in one hard inquiry, which is incredible. So you can get 5 cards for the price of one inquiry, which is incredible. So, and whenever you're done, after you gotten approved for the cards, you can then call in and do a transfer. So you can get the limits off of those cards and you can put it onto one card. So instead of having 5 cards, you can have 1 card just with a big freaking limit. So that's something to consider. And also, don't be surprised too when you are applying for these cards. The first card is always going to be the highest limit card, and the cards to follow tend to always be half what that first card was. So if you have a card, just for example, for 10K, the rest of the cards will more than likely be 5K each. So when you're applying, just keep that in mind. Whatever your first card is, half of that is usually what the other cards are going to be, should you get, automatically approved. So just something to consider. So, but Bank of America does target, it will hit generally Experian or TransUnion. However, with all banks, it's state dependent. So it's just good whenever you're building your funding plan and you're trying to figure out what banks you're going to hit. Just make sure to do your research and make sure what bureau it's going to hit from which state you live in, just so you don't overrun one bureau. You want to make sure you keep them all pretty evenly spaced out. You want to make sure you're not targeting one bureau too much. So guys, that's Bank of America. I hope this was helpful, and I wish you luck on your funding journey, and that's everything I have for you today. Hope you all take care. Bye-bye.